unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time.
I told you my mom had a stroke, right? Back in July. Well, she did. So it's been almost, it's been, 4 or 5 months? Maybe it was after July, I don't know. It was after I started this stupid podcast. But anyway, if you were to meet her now, you wouldn't even know she had a stroke. You might think she has a funny, weird accent, a little bit of a weird accent. You might think she was a foreigner of some sort, but maybe not even that. I don't know. Anyway, so she's recovered, and I think a lot of it has to do with medical marijuana. She might, and she'd probably agree. And this is the little old Mormon lady, never even gets tickets, that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm in Utah for Christmas, and all the Christmas things happened. Sitting around playing games with family. Fun. Me and my mom and my sister, the original 3, sat around and played a game called Rummy Cube. It's like a gin rummy game, I think, but it uses little tiles. Anyway, I kicked their asses really hard. I mean, I just murdered them. And I have to say it made me happy, because I'm very shallow. I'm a very small-minded man. Little victories like that, kicking my mother's and my sister's ass at a dumb game, brings me a little bit of joy. What am I going to do? Am I going to lie to you? Huh? Anyway, so here's a little story for you. I'm in my van. When I travel, I go in my van. I love it. I even love when it's cold and I have to get under the blankets, which is what I am right now. So imagine, I'm under the blankets right now. It's about 33 degrees in my van, and I'm telling this story for a reason. And I like it. It's nice and toasty in here. Dum-Dum's in here. She just heard her name and she moved. See, that's her moving. Anyway, but I've read about these little heaters you can get, parking heaters for vans that run off your own diesel fuel in the van. And I got in my mind, well, maybe I'll install one of those, because it's fine when you're down in the 30s for camping, but once it gets down into the zeros, the teens, it's a little unmanageable. It's like, climbing Mount Everest or some shit. So I got this heater, I ordered it, and my good old friend Andy who I've known since elementary school, he has this business where he installs these breathalyzer tests that lock drunk drivers out of their cars from driving. Court mandated shit, You drink and drive here, and you have to install one of these things on your car. Anyway, he has garage space. I thought, well, Andrew, we could hang out and we could install this heater. So I go and we install the heater, kind of do a janky job, under my direction, of course. Andrew is kind of like at each step where I'm cutting corners and shit. He's going, "Are you sure you want to do it that way?" And I'm doing this kind of, yeah, not a big deal. How bad could it be? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, because of my mistakes, I melted a few wires together when I was test running the heater, right? Not good. I was going to do a little test run. I thought, how hot can it get on a test run? It melted some wires together. Screwed up my van. Gives me this warning. See dealership. The DEF system doesn't work. And then it puts my van into cripple mode, which means I can't drive it over 40 miles an hour driving down the street. I saw where it melted the wires, but I got underneath the underneath the van anyway. I fixed the wires, separated them, picked them apart, put little electrical tape around each individual one, then wrap the whole thing again. So I knew I solved the problem, luckily, because I knew where it was. But it still stayed in cripple mode, still wouldn't let me drive. And when it goes into cripple mode, then I made this mistake. Let me tell you what a mistake is. Don't go on a fucking forum to find answers to a problem in your van. You want to know why? Or even any problem. Because the people that are in the forums are angry people. They aren't people who are enjoying their cars or their whatever product it is. They're people who are pissed off. Right? Something's gone wrong. And let me tell you something. Misery loves company. Right? First guy, I say, hey man, I melted some wires. It says the glow plug's not working anymore. Also this, I made a good detailed explanation of what had happened. That I'd melted the wires, that I'd found them, that I'd fixed them. But asked, is there a fuse or is there any sort of other thing? First guy, Frank Rizzo is his name. Sounds like a joke. Isn't that a character from like Laverne and Shirley or something? Frank Rizzo gets on. Bad computer, $1,200. I'm like, are you sure? I don't think it's that major. Diesel suck, that's why I changed the gas. Totally unhelpful. In the other forum, same type of shit, Unplug it and plug it back in. Anyway, and then the forums are filled with how the dealerships just rip you off, that you leave. And everybody knows that, if you take your car to the dealership, they're going to keep it for a month. And I'm sitting here in Utah, and my van when I'm traveling is my house. And so leaving my house at the dealership, that doesn't sound fun at all. It sounds terrible. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to do that because these fucking people in the forums are telling me, yeah, unfortunately, only dealers can clear these kinds of codes. You can go get an ODB scanner, but that only clears the basic codes. And it sounds like you fried something. Right? So I go over to my mom's house. This is before the first night. And I'm like, family members are there. We want to play games and all this shit. And I'm just depressed because, just the idea. And it's worse when you create your own problem. When Andrew was double checking my work going, are you sure? Even at one point he goes, hey, remember when you told me to only put one screw here? I said, yeah. And he goes, I'm just reminding you that you only told me to put one screw here. He's covering his ass. He's making sure that I know that I'm being the lazy motherfucker. And I was, I would have loved to have blamed this on Andrew, no matter how much I love him, and I do love him. I would have loved to have blamed him. But I had nobody to blame but myself for the mistake. But anyway, so I filled my head, the forums have filled my heads with all this doom and gloom. Like, oh shit, now I'm going to be stuck in Utah. I'm not going to be able to get back to San Francisco in time to move my other van. I'm going to get a ticket. I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? And I asked my mom and I asked Andrew and I pull my Utah friends to see if they know any. And I even asked the forums, like an idiot. I asked the forum, anybody know an honest dealer in Utah? And the only response I get was a guy in a GIF laughing his ass off. Yeah. So nobody's helping. My mom and my sister give me recommendations. My mom tells me that my stepdad, who died a few years ago, used to trust this place called the Top Stop, right, which was not far from their house. This little shell gas station. It has like 4 bays, old school. Back when, you remember when gas stations were all like little mechanic shops? Well, this is one of those. So she says Boyd, who's my stepdad, used to vouch for this place and that I should go there because the guy was old and honest and everything, Jim. And so I thought, well, I'll camp in front of his place because this is like Christmas Eve, right? The next day was Christmas Eve. And I thought, is he going to even be open on Christmas Eve? Not likely, or it's going to close early. Or maybe it was, no, that was on a Monday. It was going to be a Monday, but then the next day would be Christmas Eve, right? You don't think during the week of Christmas, I think there's no way they're going to get it done on that day. Even if he does, he's going to make me leave it, or he's not going to know what to do because these fucking car companies make all their stuff proprietaries because they're at war with these independent mechanics who they're all trying to put out of business. And you hear all these stories about independent mechanics who can't fix newer cars because of all these security computer codes and all that shit. So this is what I'm thinking. And I thought, well, I'll go sleep out in front of Jim's Top Stop, and when I'll wake up bright and early in the morning, because that will give me a shot at getting it fixed before Christmas, because I'll be the first one in line, and just maybe it's not a big deal anyway, and he'll be a guy that will know, and he's honest and whatever. So also my schedule's weird. Did I tell you that? I sleep weird. I don't sleep like normal people. I'm up in the middle of the night sometimes. Anyway, different podcast. But I go sleep in front of his place, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, and I'm wide awake, right? And I'm just sitting there feeling sorry for myself, all doom and gloomy about how going through all the catastrophic ways that Jim is going to send me to the dealership, and then the dealership is going to fuck me up the butt and punch me in the face and laugh at me and just hold my van for ransom forever and charge me an arm and a leg and tell me my engine's blown. Catastrophic thinking. And then I thought, fuck this. What is going to happen in the morning when I walk into Top Stop, which is 20 feet away from the door of my van right now? Whoever's going to work on it is going to go through a list of things, and I'm up so I can go through that list of things right now. And I just calmed my brain. I thought, there's no way anything major could have happened. It was a very quick melting of wires. I saw the wires that were melted. They were minor melts, right? I turned on my van after. I noticed a little, not a short, but it didn't start up the normal way. There was a little pause, which is when the thing happened. And so I got on the internet, and I looked up a fuse diagram for my van. I started reading all the little fuses, Each fuse is meant for something. Windshield wipers? Nope, wasn't that one. Was it for the automatic windows? No. How about the radio? No. I go down, glow plugs. Possibly the glow plugs. But why would it be just the glow plugs? Because I know where I melted the wire, and it wasn't near the engine. So I kept looking. I looked for something for the DEF system, which is the liquid that the government makes you put in to a diesel now that somehow decreases emissions. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm looking for that, and nothing says that on there. So I look up the ECU, which stands for the Electronic Control Unit, I think, or Computer Unit. And I see one little thing that says, Additional Loads, ECU. I think that's a good candidate. I look through all the other fuses, one by one. Look at the descriptions. Nope, it's not that. It's not the headlights, not the windshield wipers. It's not even the exhaust. And so I narrowed it down to fuse number F17. And I did this because, for a couple reasons. Because I'm lazy, and it was kind of cold. And I didn't want to open up the fuse box outside in the engine bay in the cold. I didn't want to do that. So I did most of the work laying in bed under the covers looking at my phone. And I narrowed it down to F17. I thought, well, I don't have a fuse. Who does have a fuse? And I looked up a 24-hour Walmart, and there was one in Riverton. And I drove to the Riverton Walmart. I parked in their parking lot. I angled my van so that one of their lights, street lights, this is 3 o'clock in the morning, by the way. By this time, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning after I'd read for an hour. And I angled it so their parking lights, their parking lot lights would light up my engine bay. I opened the hood. I got the right tool, and I took off the fuse box, and I located fuse F17. and I pulled it out, and it was blown. That's right. The first fuse I pulled was F17. So what did I do? I walked into Walmart, which was open late at night, and I saw all these nice Utah faces, and they all said, "Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning," and there was no security guy at the door. Dum Dum and I went in, and she's so good when we go into the store, into Walmart. She just stands in the shopping cart on that little plastic thing that you flip down so that kids' butts don't fall through or don't get wire cage marks on their butt, She just stands, and I go back, and I find the fuses, and I have to buy a little pack because they won't let me buy one individually. So I got this little pack for like $4.99 with one or two of each type of fuse that your regular automobile has. This was a 20-amp fuse, and I took it back to my van, checked out, auto checkout, because for some reason in Utah, they still let you check out by yourself even at 4 o'clock in the morning. No security guy. I could have walked out with it. But my shoplifting days are behind me. Anyway, I go to my van, open up the thing, put a little flashlight there, pop the fuse in, start my van, and the red blinking light is gone. It worked. I fixed my van. I fixed my van because I stopped feeling sorry for myself and stopped thinking of a catastrophic future and dealt with the problem at hand pragmatically by checking things off a list. And what a better way to think. And this applies to everything. I was kind of proud of myself. Actually, maybe I take that back. I was more ashamed of myself for ever having gotten into the catastrophic thinking in the first place. The fact that I even allowed myself for probably a total of 12 hours. For 12 hours, I was a pathetic piece of crap, feeling sorry for myself and imagining a terrible future for myself. I could have solved that problem right off the bat. Like right when I did it, I could have just went, oh, okay, well, what's gone wrong here? I could have done all that looking on the internet, and fuse solving right then and there. I could have just done it right then and there. I could have driven to my mom's house, looked in Boyd's garage. He has a whole bottle of fuses up there. I could have solved it without even ever having told anybody. But no, my stupid feeling sorry for myself and my catastrophic thinking made me rope in Andrew, because I had to call him. I had to tell him that I fucked up. I had to bother with him, and he felt bad about it because how when somebody's helping you, they always feel bad. He unnecessarily felt bad. I made him feel like a schmuck for having been there to witness my schmuckiness. Then I had to rope my mom into it. I had to rope my sister into it. All these people, because I was such a fucking wussy that I allowed myself to slip into feeling sorry for myself rather than just solving the fucking problem. I hate that when I can't follow my own advice, even if it takes a delay. Ultimately, I did, so pat myself on the back for that. But I really get annoyed when I slip into that mode. Because when others do it, I, of course, chew them out and lecture to them. Kind of like what I'm doing to you now. I don't even know why you listen to me. I listen to these things back and I go, oh my God, who is that guy? I hate him. Anyway, but I fixed my van, and I had a nice Christmas, and I gained a couple pounds from eating little Smokies, potato salad, beans, ham, maple bars. I ate one of those. What else? Grapes. Now I'm just telling you things I ate. Whatever. What else are you fucking doing? You're not doing shit. You're driving your car. I'm keeping you company. I'm keeping you from your own catastrophic thinking. I'm keeping you from feeling sorry for yourself for whatever fucking mistake you made. And I know you made one. You made a stupid mistake recently. Everybody does. But don't spend any time beating yourself up for it or imagining a dank, dark future. It's a waste of time. Take that time and energy and methodically go through the steps. What are the things you need to fix? How can you fix the situation? Catastrophic thinking is a waste of time. It doesn't help. It only delays the solution. So that's my Christmas message to you. If you find yourself thinking catastrophically, stop, stop, stop. Solve your problem. You can do it. I know you can, champ. Thanks for listening.